I can merge it with what I did before, um, in a sense. And I'm gonna break it down. Let me really break it down. Is when you are founding, when you're creating, when you're developing, when you're launching something, um, on the entrepreneur side of things. I'm gonna be real honest with y'all. Going back 9 years ago, I did this series. I had a expertise, and that expertise kept putting me in these circles, or in front of that expertise kept putting me in front of entrepreneurs, and so I started producing events and content that appealed to entrepreneurs, and because the rest of the world just wasn't there yet, right? And didn't get there until 2020. But I started this thing 2015, and I'm not even going to go back before that. I'm going to say from 2015 to 2019, 2015, 2019. Let's just talk about 2019. Whereas 2019, 2020 should have been a 5-year culmination of a thing. We had the pandemic. So nothing culminated for anybody, right? And I just want to put my face on that right quick, just in case, TikTok be saying, oh, stagnant, this, that, and the other. So 2020 was supposed to be a 5-year culmination of a thing. It was not, because everybody had to pivot. Like the entire world had to pivot. Many people having to rush to the future because they were lagging behind. And so then we literally have already spent 5 years from there. We're at 6 years from that, right? And you can kind of say five if you don't count 2020, because, let's count 2021. Um, so what happens at 5 years, it's like, okay, it's like, as the old folks would say, get off the pot or do what you're going to do. And I think that's where we are. However, prior to 2020, I spent an enormous amount of time learning to become, or to go ahead and be, because I really was already one, because I was in a industry. I was in a pioneering industry. I was helping a pioneer industry that wasn't yet formed. So the only way to do it at that time is like, well, there's no real entities out there to do it for, meaning to just get paid for it. You pretty much had to do all of the thing. And that's what the entrepreneurship kept coming in. It's like, there were people who had these talents and these gifts, but the industry wasn't there yet. There was no entity that said, hey, I'm going to pay everybody that does this. No, you had to go out there and get the money. You had to go create the thing, get the money. And so after 2019, 2020 and on, we've probably seen the biggest boom of entrepreneurship. The only thing in learning about this and in preparation for this is nobody along the way. And I'm going to tell you, I went to some of the top conferences, and I was there. There was no stone left unturned, with the exception of nobody talked about the cost of a thing and how taxing it is on your wallet and your energy and your nervous system. I kid you not. Yes, somebody did. And luckily, it was an event that I myself hosted, because I was like, look, give us the real on what this entrepreneur stuff was. And so I brought these entrepreneurs to the table. And I remember there was one lady, and she talked about, she had gone viral. This was, there wasn't a lot of platforms to go viral. In fact, she didn't necessarily go viral on a platform. She went viral on traditional radio. She got noticed by Steve Harvey, who at the time, and I don't know if they still do this, but Steve Harvey had a subscription box. He and his wife or somebody in the many entities they have, and they would curate, all these different products for different businesses to go in this box, right? And so she got noticed. She had a granola or something like that, and got noticed by, and they ordered all this granola. Of course, sent all the sharks to her. It's like, oh, you got a granola that they want in this subscription box. Clearly, there's something here that we could invest in, and we could grow this and scale this. Because they come for you like that, right? And so she was a mentor at an event that I had. I would have these breakfast events, and I would bring together mentors and people who wanted to be mentored. But she came and she said, and we were like all excited. We got the granola lady. She's somebody from our own ecosystem. From our city and ecosystem, and she's gonna come in. Oh my God, she's gonna tell us this wonderful thing of how her product got noticed. It's got included in this major subscription box, and clearly she's gonna be set for life. And she came and she sat and she said, "All right, y'all ready for the real?" She said, "I had to shut it down." And everybody gives you that what? She said, "Let me tell you." And she talked about, of course, it was wonderful. You created a thing in your kitchen, your dining room, and it gets noticed, and then you get all these orders, and you get, invited to participate on this large scale, and then these investors came. And she said, "Y'all don't understand." She said, my health immediately started to fail. My nervous system was insane. Dealing with investors going back and forth, trying to rush and do, trying to satisfy, first of all, trying to satisfy the enormity of the order, trying to do, everybody wanted to change everything. Because again, talking about scaling, just even trying to satisfy the order of the subscription box. Because mind you, this is a subscription box that Steve Harvey was sending out. Yeah, let's get that done. But then now here come the investors and saying, well, shoot, we're gonna change the packaging. Now you're not gonna be making this in the kitchen. You gotta go get a commercial kitchen, or better yet, let's just go get some co-packing and all this kind of stuff. And now let's get all this stuff from all this stuff like warehousing them all. Just it was like going. Can you imagine? Making something and getting it to an influencer or whatever, and again we're talking about OG influencing, OG media and da da da. And she said that it just became too much. It just became too much. And not only that, it immediately took her out of, because she wanted to do this because, hey, I could do this, make a little money, be at home, take care of my family, da da da. Oh, immediately out of the household. Immediately out of the household, all day, all night. Um, Kids, immediate change in the behaviors of the children, immediate things going on with the teenagers. Oh, and shoot, mom got to travel, mom got to do this, and all of that. Okay, immediate changes in a relationship. It just was immediately not why she started the thing. And she went on, and you guys can watch this. I'm going to share some of those videos on this thing. And so and her advice was, just be careful, know when you're starting a thing, if you can see yourself not working it, handing it off, to the powers that be, letting it grow, and know where it is you want to fit into this thing that you are creating. And I thought about that when I started. I'm like, because I'm gonna tell you, even now, I've got some things going on where I'm trying to lean into TikTok Shop because it does a lot of the heavy lifting, and I kind of, in a sense, get to just kind of show up as the spokesperson, even though I'm still doing the fulfillment. But then there's opportunities with them where they could do the fulfillment. So you have to think about that when you are starting a thing. You have to think about, the exit strategy. And that was another thing I quickly realized is um, where I was and in the circles I was in, it's like, everybody's into the startup, everybody's into the finding their thing, but nobody was thinking ahead along these lines. Do I really want to run this? So do I just want to develop, like say for instance, Mr. Tenderism? Everybody's thinking, oh my God, he should have some restaurants. And he's like, that ain't I ain't trying to do that. He's like, I ain't no spring chicken. I ain't trying to be getting up 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, going loading them smokers and trying to get them. He's like, I just want to show up and put my spin on it. And I like that idea because it's kind of like, the James Beard Award or the Michelin star. I want to come to, he was like, I want to come to your kitchen, your restaurant, and say if it's tenderness or not. He just wants to be the influencer thing. He wants to chill with this thing. And that's what happens is when you come out here and you demonstrate what you are doing, everybody wants to impart a little wisdom. And I used to be that person too, like, oh my God, you should do this. And now I'll be like, let me not volunteer. Nothing. Right? Let people do what they do. Be where they are. Because when you do come on these platforms and you demonstrating what you're doing, even if you're like wondering, like, damn, where did they come from? Where did that come from? I'm trying to, here's who I'm looking for. How the hell where did all these people come from? And they try, and it pulls you in different directions. Next thing your brand is all thinned out and you got to try to reel it back in. Well, that happens because we don't have any control over who sees. Keep hearing about the algorithm this and the algorithm that. But you can still kind of direct the thing because one, you got to be really specific with what you're doing and how you're doing it. But luckily for me, it seems like where I am and what I'm doing, it was kind of reverse engineered as opposed to me engineering this thing. I'm almost reverse engineering because I had the opportunity to start it at any level because I spent that time being mentored by all these different entrepreneurs. And I'm like, okay, I know I don't want to go that route. I want to go this route. I'm not going to lean into that. I'm going to lean into this. So I get to make better decisions. It's not a lot of trial and error, and it's not of error. It's not a lot of errors at all. But I do get to try a lot of different things because the way in which I came into it, I got to see all of these different steps and things like that. So I can make a more decisive. I can be more decisive with the steps that I take. But there still is. It's so vast out here. It's so vast out here, and you still feel. I'm going to use the word remorse. I don't, because it's not so much like a regret thing, but there's a real heavy weightedness on the decisions because, and it's not anything I'm doing or the ecosystem or anything. It's just the way things are. It's just the way things are. It's just the way people attach to things. And next thing you know, there's all this weight on everything because people are willing to risk it all. I'm not in it to risk it all, but there's like you look up and you like what? It's like and I don't want to say like the leeches or like the parasites, but you know how you see like and if you ever gone to I've never gone like what do you call it? Scuba diving or anything like that, but I have gone to an aquarium or two, and you know how you see. And even in that, you see like the big fish, and then you got all the little fish just kind of drafting on that fish. They're not necessarily stuck to it, but they just riding it, right? They riding the bigger thing, because the bigger thing causes such a current. Even if you don't flow with it, you're still gonna feel the pull, and that's something they also talk about in auto racing. Like I used to watch auto racing all the time, and you got those front cars, and then the second cars that just ride within that suction behind there. And same thing when you're riding down the highway, you get behind that truck and you just get to come off the gas and and just kind of save your gas and just coast along with it and whatever. So that is that is the way this feels. And sometimes, you have to take the lead. And when you have to take the lead, it's a little bit harder because you're actually breaking through. The wind, the surface of going forward. You're propelling, and then other people kind of get to ride on there with you. So that is where this thing is for me this year. And then too, like having to decide, what year am I in? What year is this? Because we're so tied to the calendar. But like it's already March. And I'm gonna tell you, in the 5 years of doing this, while there is some continuity, okay, keep making a product, keep putting it out there, it's selling. But there's so many things that come at you. There's so many things because I have to rely on supply chain that's been inconsistent to a certain degree. Um, that's part of the weight of it. And the biggest thing in this that I keep saying we don't see enough of and we don't get enough of is how to manage, or that basically it's yes, you can easily come out here and create yourself a job if you don't have one. Easily come out here, create yourself a job. The difference is between the job mindset is somebody else covers all the expenses. Somebody else somebody else goes and when you go to work, when you get up every day and go to work, somebody has gone out there and gotten the business in order for you to show back up, in order for you to show up every day, right? And what we're seeing right now, we're seeing a number of industries where there's no new business, and that's when we start to see all these numbers of people getting laid off, these buyouts, all these different things going on because there's no new business, right? There's no new business for them. They're steadily losing business because things are changing. Things are changing. And what's really going on with that is, and I'm going to tell you, Design to the Emma, as they say it on here, they're leading the way. They made it local. Right now, if you think about it, if you look around, everything is local. And here's what happens is things go, like people saying, oh, well, shop small, shop family owned, or shop natural, eat whole, and this real, and all this kind of stuff. So the reason why some of these other things can't find new business is because we have come local again, right? And this may be the year. And again, it's the cycle. You have to be able to handle the changes in the cycles. It's just a cycle. And I'm going to tell you, as somebody has done this for years, I have seen that. Even the digital stuff, even the online, you notice TikTok just added what? A local tab. Case in point, TikTok added a local tab. Because we just had 5 years of people catching flights, going all around the world for some of the simplest stuff. We saw the lady catch a flight, flew to New York just to have lunch. People going for they're catching flights, going for the day, coming back. Like the guy that commutes flying, you know. He has to go in the office once a week. Hell, he lives where he want to live. Just fly into the city, go do that office day, and fly on back out of here. Because why? He could do that. Okay. T-Law, welcome in, everybody. Miss Chanel, welcome in. So that is where this thing is. Bujamin Soul, welcome in. Miss Jerk the Gums. But that's where this is. And so, but what if you didn't plan for the cycle? And it's hard to plan for the cycle. The cycles to change. It's hard to plan for the change in cycles. I'll put it that way. Joan Little, welcome in. But how fast can you adapt? How fast can you pivot? How fast can you add on? It doesn't mean change the whole thing. I just had to pivot. Something that I did 3 years ago. When did I do that? Let me see. It might have been 3 years ago. It's like, oh, what we did 3 years ago, got time to do that again. We cycle back to it, right? We cycle back to it. Hey, is that Kim? Kim, I can barely see y'all because of the flyer. We cycle back to it. I gotta get up in my day today, what I'm getting ready to do today, because I had to do what? I had to cycle, change for the cycle. The cycle says, oh, this what I'm doing now is what I did 3 years ago. Not last year, not last week, not next week. 3 years ago. Oh, well, scroll back and go and see what did we do 3 years ago? What was hot 3 years ago? TikTok Shop was new. And I'm gonna say maybe 2 years ago. Let me see. Wait a minute. Yeah, I'm gonna say three because last year and the year before that, that's the 2 years in between. So the year before that would be three. Right? Is that how we? Because sometimes, good morning, Bunny Shop. Sometimes it's hard to like count this thing, right? So three, whatever, and guess what? Here's the other part. That's what's going to work for me. Is it going to work for somebody else? It depends. What did you do 3 years ago? Because the pivot now is, it's not the pivot. I'm going to say a portion of what we need to do now is to think about local. When you're looking at a major platform, TikTok is still the leading platform. Now, yep, we're hearing some people say, well, I can't get it done over there. I'm going to go back over here. Oh, you're going back to what you did 3 years ago? Didn't I just say that, right? Oh, I'm going to go this place. Okay, I bet you did it 3 years ago. Whatever it is that you're saying it's not working right now, and you're saying maybe I need to do this, but you think it's going forward, I guarantee you're going backwards. And that not you're going backwards, but you're going back in order to go forward. I just had to go back in order to go forward. And did I realize it when I was doing it? No, I didn't. But because I stopped, I have periodic times when I stop and I say, wait, let me measure this. Let me evaluate. And I'm like, wait a minute. We did this 3 years ago. So you have to be able to do, otherwise you go crazy. Because too oftentimes we try to stick and stay and force it, but that's a losing thing right there. The easier thing as I sit and look across the room here at this printer and the stuff that just came off this printer, I'm like, oh my God, that was 3 years ago. The ease of my yesterday and the day before that and the day before that was because before that, and what was that? There was like a movie or something that came out. Oh, the day before that, or hour before that, whatever. The day before that, yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that was what it was amazing for me because I decided to do something, not consciously realizing I was doing something I did 3 years ago. I just recognized, I was able to have the discernment to recognize I needed to do something different. And let me see if I can do this. And I did it. And now I know because I said, let me stop. What is this? Because I asked, what is this? And I was like, oh my God, this is 3 years ago. We are about to cycle back around to some local thing. Well, what else did I do 3 years ago? What else was going on? And as we look around and we see that, when I see, and I don't know which one of my, because here's the thing, TikTok will roll out stuff. And if you got multiple accounts or profiles or whatever, you might see it on one and not the other. On one of my profiles, I know people are talking about this local tab. And I'm like, that's interesting because and this is why you got to move when you got to move. This is why you can't be at a snail's pace. This ain't this is the hair thing right here. Because if you saw something a couple years ago, and it is taking you a couple years to roll that out, and now you're getting ready to roll it out, and things have changed again, you're gonna be in trouble. If you had to take the last 5 years, if you saw something going on over the last 5 years, and you trying to get it perfect, because you know how we do. Okay, it had to be if yours had to be perfect, oh my God, your feelings are about to be hurt because you finna put that thing out there and everything's changed. That's why that perfect stuff don't work. It don't work. Because guess what? Guess where you're gonna put it? You better put it in the attic. You better go get a storage for it until it cycles back around. It's gonna have to cycle back around. You late. And I'm gonna tell you, I tell y'all all the time, there are about 3 people that come and hang out with us, and one of which we see her every now and again. She attended the same soap workshop that we did. She's still out here buying stuff. Gonna do it one day, and mind you, the day she drop it probably be better than everybody else. Because it's going to be perfect. It's going to be perfect. It's going to be perfect. And it ain't even, I'm about to say, like, but how much time, could she have been doing it? No, because we all different. She can't do it right now because it's got to be perfect. It's got to be perfect. And maybe when she drops it, this is why they say overnight success. Because maybe in a couple more years, whatever it is that she's trying to devise, whatever it is she's trying to create, and whatever she's going to drop, she's going to drop it at the perfect time. And she might not have lost any time. Now, she's going to be at it. Some people are going to have 10 years in the game, and still arrive at the same point. She's like, I can't put it out there yet. Think about people. There are people that, like, think about Slutty Vegan. Everybody, all eyes on Slutty Vegan right now. She's getting ready to try to be on one of the reality shows. Filed bankruptcy, lost her business, bought it back, opened these, got, $25 million, something like that, to open 13 locations and all that. At the same time, there's somebody else that's got a vegan sandwich or whatever. And they're like, no, it's got to be perfect. Why? Because they don't want to go through all those trials and tribulations. They don't want to go through all that trial and error. They don't want to have to go through it. They're like, let me just, okay, oh, she's finna go and do her. Let me watch her. And they're going to do it. And now both of them are going to be at the same spot because a homegirl is doing hers publicly. Even down to the bankruptcy thing, reorganization, She's going to reorganize. She might even change up something, this, that, and the other. And she's getting it perfect publicly. She's getting it perfect out in the public. There's somebody else that's getting it perfect behind the scenes. They're learning from all the mistakes. Oh, now I don't want them. I don't want to go viral. I don't want them followers. I don't want this, that, and the other. And they're getting it perfect. And they're going to drop theirs, and they're going to be able to avoid all those pitfalls because they're getting it perfect. So thank you, Kim. So what I'm saying, there's no wrong way and no right way. There's a wait way. People saying, I'm going to wait. The claw machine, thank you. There are those that say, I'm going to wait because I want to get it perfect. And there are those that say, well, you know what? I'm going to learn along the way. I'm going to take the scarring and all those things. I'm going to learn along the way. I don't want to do it publicly. I don't want to do it publicly. I know there are people that are building a product and they're going to come out and they're going to have all their marketing. They're going to, publicity. They're going to have all the things. That's what it takes. Marketing, publicity, and whatnot. And they will be at the same pace as somebody who has showed it all. The good, the bad, the ugly, the buzz, all that. They're going to be at the same place. But that person who couldn't wait, can't wait, I got to do it now. I got to go and put it out there. I got to grow it. I got to change it. I got to go with the cycles. I got to experience all the things, and so forth. Let's pray for everybody because and people do what they can withstand and what they can tolerate. It's about, I said it yesterday, it's about finding your tolerance and your sweet spot. Some people, it's like when they said this or that ain't for the weak, it ain't. And there are people who they just the idea person and they go and they put the machine behind it. Think about I think Beyonce's mom getting ready to drop a gumbo. Now we done seen all kind of people on TikTok drop a dish, like the guy over there. I'm watching this guy with the spicy bowls. That man be in that kitchen dropping the spicy bowls. I saw the lady with the macarons. She be sitting there doing a damn 1,000 macarons a day. And somebody said, well, why don't you just take your recipe and, send it off to the machine or this. She's like, well, and why don't you get a storefront? And I'm going to tell you, when I first started, when I literally first started, everybody says, "Oh, well, you do have a store." That's all they would say. Well, do you have a store? And the same thing when I wrote 27 Answers, you know, and it was ebook. Or do you have it in print? Because I want to get a signed copy. Somebody will always just suppose, or mention an alternative, and so yeah, there's some, they're like, oh, I think I want to do this. And they go and they hire the team and they go hire all of the stuff and they get it on out there. But then there are those, we see them build, and there are those, they just want their little piece. That lady wants to sit at her table where she can watch her kids play and stop at any time to go take care of whatever the family need or whatever. And yes, she can go work in somebody's bakery or she can go start a bakery again. She can go work in somebody's bakery and it won't cost her nothing. Just go in there and trade your time. Or she can go get a commercial kitchen. She can go get a storefront, a bakery. There's so many damn bakeries open. I was watching TikToks. I'm like, golly. One thing we did over these last 6 years is open some damn bakeries, okay? But no, she just wants to sit there with her piping bag, piping her macarons. Because at the same time, we follow another lady that has a bakery now. Because she does have a storefront, she has had some larger opportunity, I guess. And I'm going to say some of the same opportunities because, hell, she's got invited to some of the Food Network shows, but then I've seen one lady, she be in the corner of her kitchen. She got invited to be on one of those shows. She didn't win. Now the lady with the store thing, she won. They came and made over her store. But I say that to say, depending on the risk. She was able to go on a show where they gave you all this money the requirement was that you had that. The requirement for the other lady who was just in the corner of her kitchen, she had a corner of her kitchen. We watch her all the time. She go in her kitchen, she go in her garden, all that kind of stuff. The show that she went on was two different shows, but they both had the benefit of the exposure. Right? This one's like my risk level is. We also see the other lady. Sometimes she said, hey, I got to change my hours. Can't have the staff. Can't afford the staff to be open all these hours. Got to open only a couple days a week. I got to travel. I got to do this and that. So we get to see because of social media. We get to see all sides of this thing. We get to see all sides. And I think if nobody realizes the benefit of it, I'm going to tell you, I benefit from it. I benefit from it because I get to see people that had a brick and mortar. Like I said, when I started there were some people I'm running to that was like, I see you got soap. Do you have a brick and mortar? Do you have a brick and mortar? And it's like, because I don't wonder if it's not in a brick and mortar, but they don't understand. It's like you got to pay to be in those brick and mortars. You got to pay for that. It's like I don't want that risk. I don't want that cost. And then you got to buy it back if it don't sell. I don't want that. And I have to say no. I have to say no to those customers. But at the same time, I was like, I said it one time. I was like, okay, you know what? Let me go see what the options are out there for those people who want to do that footfall in a store. So for 2 of these 6 years, two, mind you, 2 of them, I went and got shelf space, um, booth space. It went from booth space to shelf space, making that investment for 2 years. And I'm gonna tell you, you say, yep, my friend is contemplating closing one of her stores because of lack of customers. That's what I'm saying. It's like, and it's a burden. It's such a burden, but it's a cycle because believe you me, she'll close one, and then guess where we are in 3 years? Expansion, And but I saw a TikTok, and somebody said, if you don't move with the cycles, because if you stay there, look how if she stays and said, okay, I'm gonna ride it out. Immediately, every month it's a loss, and you might not be able to recover that, even if 2 years from now we're back at expanding. Oh, everybody got to expand. But imagine if she cut the loss now, put that money aside, still make that investment somewhere. I'm gonna bank that. I'm gonna bank that. And then when it comes back to expansion, she's got the one up because she's going back out with the experience. Because you never start from beginning again. It might be. It's like somebody said, what if you look at the people who change jobs all the time? When they change jobs, they get to see all the new technology, they get to see the new techniques, they continuously learning. Whereas somebody that stays in one place too long, you're not seeing an increase. Like if you change jobs, you're more likely to make more money than if you stay at the same jobs with those minute increases, right? That's why we got a generation out here. They be hopping because shoot, they getting a sign-on bonus, they getting a increase, they're learning new skills, they get to move around, and so forth. But again, it's not a wrong. Neither one is right or wrong. It's just them. It's just them. Like I said, like now I am able to calm my nervous system because it's like now people are like, hey, what's going on, with the SITE? And I'm like, hey, it's on a break. It's on a break because I'm over here trying this thing because I'm over here trying TikTok shop because they do all the heavy lifting. So I'm gonna ride that wave, and when that tide stop coming in, then we'll go back over there. But and it's so funny. Keita shared with me a video of one of the TikTokers that's now getting ready to launch a membership, which is what I talk about all the time. You need a membership, you need a subscription box. There's so many ways to do it. The image on the screen talks about the YT. I'm over at the YT talking about this. But you need that. One of the things he said was, hey, you got some loyal people, and you got to figure out how to separate the chicken guy. Yeah, you got to separate the loyal and the randoms. I'm no longer sending the randoms to the website because it costs me. Because here's a thing you never see. You never see entrepreneurs talk about customer acquisition. How much does it cost to obtain a customer? Okay. And that's the thing about being an entrepreneur. If you're looking for customers, what is the route you have to take and how much you got to spend to get that customer based on how much you want them to spend? So sending a random over to my SITE, okay, to look around, all right, to become the acquisite, to acquire that customer, to go over there. That's more. It's cost more. It's labor intensive. Whereas I got this easy one. They're already over here, and this is what it is. I'm on this platform more. I'm reaching more people here. But for me to take them from here and send them over there, it's like, first of all, that's a no, right? And that, how expensive that is to get them over there. Now I got to engage all of my systems when they're already in a system over here. Now, what I am finding by demonstrating and just giving a glimpse of what it is to be loyal over there. Oh, here's what you get being loyal over there. And don't go over there if you're not going to be a loyal, right? Because I can now look at what it takes to when I acquire get that customer over there, I have that customer for a year or more. That random somebody that's not gonna be a loyal, they're gonna be random. I can't forecast them. I can't plan on them. It's a spike. It's an injection that happens. It's nice. But I get somebody else to do that, and that's what I decided to do. Because otherwise, it looks odd over there and people, when you go viral, every day after going viral, the number is negative. I had a video that went viral. We got like 49, it was like 4,900 visitors. Okay, 4,000 visitors. Oh, well, the next day, back to the regular visitors, the report says, well, hell, you're down 4,000. You're down next day, you're down 4,000. You sit down, your number is negative until it spikes again. So I'm like, oh no, I'm not sending y'all over there. Because I gotta keep it steady over there. Because it negatively impacts the numbers. And that negatively impacts the nervous system. And that negatively impacts. So when somebody comes in, when they go to looking at that entity, depending on what I decide to do with that entity, it's got negative numbers. Oh, no, we're not doing negative numbers. So let me just not send those randoms over there. Stay your butt on over here. Me and you both. Let's just stay over here. Hey, Risa, where we can get this done. And then when you said, oh, damn, I like the treatment over there. I like the options over there. Oh, well, you got to lock that in. There's a key. And get that key, go on over there. And then come on in and stay, lock it in, right? And so that's it. And that's something, that is the one continuity that, and I don't, let me see, has that been consistent? Let me see. It's been consistent, and there only been minute changes. We've only had to raise the price once. One of the things is I do have people at variable pricing, which is okay. I can offset it and whatnot. But they locked in, and as long as you're loyal, I'm loyal, kind of thing, and so forth, and and everything else. We just kind of handle it from there. But I don't have to worry about funnels. I don't have to worry about, let me reach back out to. That's the thing about it, is with that whole recharge system, which is what we talk about on here. And guys, good morning. Just a little talking about, I launched a YT where I'm merely answering how I started the subscription box. And how do I, what does it say on there? Getting subscribers, what the idea was, picking. So I'm dropping stories now. And I was going to do it as a channel on TikTok, but as TikTok is like, even though they want the learning and the how-to stuff, I can't find it. And I wouldn't be able to do it on this channel, because this channel is outside the realm of being invited to all of that stuff. But this is one that I've had where I have my maker friends and so forth. So I just decided to do it on a YT, a brand new YT. Thank you for liking the live. It's a brand new YT. It's not even on my two previous channels. It's a brand new YT, starting from scratch. So definitely check it out. If you clear the display, if you clear the display, you can see the flyer and screenshot it. The link is on there. The information is on there. And actually, this is the first time of me even truly branding from my name perspective, which is something my dad really wanted. He was like, man, you got all these brands and, and all these things. but as a founder of stuff, and this is me, founding one more thing, creating one more thing, being a founder at heart, to be able to do it under the name is important. So, it's out there. Definitely come over, definitely check it out. But I'm literally going to specifically go that way because I'm telling you, if you do have a product or a service or whatnot, and you want longevity, you want legacy, anything happens to me, my family can keep this rolling. All they gotta do is read the recipe. You know what I'm saying? Deliver the product. And it's just something that they can have because again, it just reading, just learning this thing is it's just been awesome. And so that's just what we're talking about. What are some of the cycles? What are some of the things that's changing? Many of us, I don't know who really wants to be an entrepreneur. I'm gonna tell you, I've been like it's in my and haven't had one in a while, in a long time, to be honest with you. I happened, of course. I went back to the gig economy, and I'm like, you know what? If I can hustle that, I can hustle this, and so forth. And so, and I obviously do. Again, we're just at that point. I'm gonna tell you the biggest drawback that I see is the reinvestment. We're just at that point where there's so many opportunities. If you can't do a 9 to 5, you can't do those things. Doing the gigs and doing the gigs and the hustles. Let's just say call it what it is. The gigs and the hustles, or just being. And see, I don't even like using the word entrepreneur, but doing the gigs and the hustles, you've got to spend the money to make the money, no matter what. You know, if you are not on a 9 to 5, if you are not, you don't have a job, you got to spend a little bit each day to make whatever your X factor is. And that's the thing. And that's another thing too. Everybody wants all this one size fit all stuff, and it's not. That's not the case. I ended up in this space because I chose to do a full-time caregiving, and it just didn't lend itself to me doing the 9 to 5. I wish it did. We were headed that way where I would have been in the work from home thing, but unfortunately, the situation that I was in progressed so rapidly that I had to make a decision to separate from my job. I then went into caregiving. I did the gig economy at night. I did caregiving, during the day, gig economy at night, overnight, and whatnot. And then throughout the process of that, I ended up doing a gig economy full time because who didn't love that kind of flexibility and it was great, but then it started to change and whatnot. Um, let's go back to something I said. Your X factor again. This one size fit all. Everybody ain't gonna claim. I can give you. Hell, I can give you my best soap recipe. Your X factor is gonna be different because your hustle gonna be different. Your time, I'm gonna tell you, I have people that I have shown how to make soap, and their X factor is different from mine because they got a different scenario, a different situation. Some of my soap students, hold on, I felt like TikTok was gonna make me it looked like it just scary goes. I knew it was scanning the video. Hold on, okay. Sorry, I had to do the puzzle piece. It was, it scans when you're not doing the thing. But anyway, I have soap students. Twice a year, I take time because people ask, all the time, hey, do you teach how to make soap and all that kind of stuff? So twice a year, I make 24/7 recipes available in the bookstore over at Best Shop Shower Soap. But twice a year, I take some one-on-one. I do some Zooms and all that kind of stuff. And I used to have a kit. If it's worth it to them to ship it, or I'll give them a shopping list, go buy this, or I'll ship you a kit. The kit was nice. And the reason why I did the kit is because when I was interested in soap making, I kept saying, is there a kit available? Where's the kit? Where's the kit? And through some gatekeeping, I was, sent down all these crazy wormholes, but ended up, having another opportunity to attend a soap making workshop. And they're out there. They're out there everywhere. And so I fell into this. But coming into this, I brought with me marketing, merchandising from, and influencing and publicity. I brought with me publicity, y'all. So I was able to craft, get my stuff out there, tell the story, do all the marketing and all that kind of stuff. That's the easy part for me. Whereas somebody else learning how, the soap part may be the easy part for them, but they don't necessarily they don't know how to, they don't want to get on camera. Hey, Caroline, they don't want to go get in front of people and all that kind of stuff. And that's the thing about it. Hey, bitch, knee, welcome in, everybody. We're just doing a little chat, talking about how I started the subscription box and whatnot. And so, again, it comes back to X Factor and what I know, having done entrepreneurial stuff, events for entrepreneurs and whatnot. And I did a full-on series, I think a year-long series of bringing entrepreneurs to the table over breakfast. I didn't want to do brunch, lunch. Didn't want to do nighttime, over drinks. No, we were at breakfast. We met. We got up at 5 o'clock in the morning. We got to these venues we met. We got up at 5 o'clock in the morning. We got to these venues at 7 o'clock. It started at 7 a.m. And it was supposed to go from 7 to 9. Honey, that thing would go from 7 to 12, 7 to 1. I was like, look, y'all got to get out of here. They're going to charge me extra for this food in these rooms. But these were people that were trying to get it. But even in that, and I think we covered a lot of it because here's the crazy part. When I was having those events, it wasn't my idea that I would become one of those entrepreneurs. I didn't even know then that in the future, my future self will have a physical product. Promoting events was what I did. Connecting people, bringing people together was what I did. And I'm like, oh my God. Every day when I wake up and I come into this and I'm looking for answers, and I could go here's the crazy part: when I go searching online for answers and my event comes up, or because I archived it, y'all, I filmed all of it. It could be very well be a documentary. But here's the thing: all the answers that I'm looking for. Hey, agent. Hey, I can't see the thing, but I know that's you. All the answers that I'm looking for, I can go back to that year-long series, and even before that. And in fact, I was watching one of my friends was live streaming, and I popped in her live stream. She said, "Oh, you said, man, Yolanda said this before, and now we're here." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, what?" I could go back to then. But again, like I said, when I did that because I knew other people needed answers. I did not know I was pouring into my future self. How people say, what would you say to your younger self or your, self? I'm like, girl, thank you. Because that year, I did a year-long series called Breakfast with Dry Buzz. Prior to that, at the same time I did that, I did a year-long series about how to blog. Right, the breakfast was on Wednesdays, first Wednesdays. The meetup I did. Remember that site that used to have meetups? I did a meetup series on first Saturdays, teaching people how to use social media. Now I'm teaching and I'm bringing all these people together, but because I'm learning, now add to that, I did all these different podcast series. Go the name on your screen. Go look it up. I don't even, and as a matter of fact, on any of that content, none of it is under my name. It's under the brands that I did. 27 Answers, Dryer Buzz. Those were like hashtags, right? You can go and you can filter this internet for those. And this is why hashtags are so important. People say, oh, well, hashtags may not be driving the content. But if you want to filter, it's still the best filter ever. If I tell you to go over to YT or go to TikTok, go to any of these platforms, and I say use the hashtag, meaning filter. Hashtag just simply means to filter. And filter for Dryer Buzz, DRYERBUZZ. You're gonna get nothing but Dryer Buzz. If I tell you to use the hashtag 27 Answers, that was a 9 or 10 book series that I did. How to fix your social media, how to blog, how to network, how to use a hashtag. I wrote a book on how to use a hashtag. I wrote an ebook on how to brand. I did a talk. I did several talks. Like people would always invite me to give a talk or whatnot, and I showed them a menu. Well, which one of these talks you want me to give to your group? And they choose a talk. I got one called How to Brand Like a Man. And How to Brand Like a Man came to me. I was watching, there was a photo that came out, and Barack Obama was standing in the foreground of the photo, but Michelle Obama, he wasn't focused. The focus was on Michelle in the background. And this is on YouTube, How to Brand Like a Man. When the man behind the brand is a woman. That's what that was. I did that when the man behind the brand, because again, marketing and publicity is all about men. And I love there's a TikTok going around where who did they ask? Oh my God, who was giving this interview? Somebody was asking this woman. Oh, Mayor Keisha from Atlanta. This guy was interviewing her and about, how do you get, black men or men to trust women politicians? And she was like, you look around, you can see how you don't call it leadership, but we're leading everywhere. But you never call it leadership. We are running households. We are running cities. We are doing all these things. But to them, it's not leadership because they think it's men. Need you to teach a class for real estate agents. Let me get the school rolling. Okay? I'm telling you. And so, in particularly real estate, I've always had great ideas for realtors, because anything that people think is a one-time transaction, there's so many other transactions that they're leaving on the table. If you have to re-engage, reignite, recontact, reach out to, you should have that. You can get rid of all of that because you're going to stay in touch and stay in contact. So that all came out. It all came out in all these different series to something that I can use today, and I'm going to share today. But now I'm going to wrap it all in how I started my subscription box. And I'm gonna take it. That's in the box. How I started my subscription box is in the box program, if you will. But there's so many out of the box situations and scenarios that can happen around that. Say for instance, my friend Keita, she don't trust the process just yet, and I get it. But like I said, there are some people, it's gotta be perfect. And when they jump out there and it's perfect, they're gonna be at the same space as that person, like a Pinky Cole, that went through it, took on the investors, did the mass scaling, had to scale it back, had to file bankruptcy. That person and the person that's working on their vegan sandwich or whatever and comes out there after learning all this, everything not to do, or everything that they themselves want to avoid, they're going to be at the same place. They're going to be at the same place. And so out of the box, one of the ideas I told Keita is you can use the subscription box technique, right? Software, if you will, as a layaway program, as a way to And I came up with this because I had an artist friend. I had an artist friend. Got a lot of starving artists, right? You always hear about the starving artists because they always have all this artwork and they're trying to wait and meet this dream customer who's gonna, rich enough to buy it all and or spend an enormous amount of money on one piece that's gonna pay all their bills for them to take another 4 or 5 years to create another great piece of art. And I had at the time when I came up with this idea again, I wasn't that entrepreneur, but I was live streaming at an art studio. And this is and again, people used to come to me about how to do all these things and stuff, right? Again, like I said, I've written all these books about it. So I was live streaming every Friday, just like I'm live now. I've been a live streamer since the very first live platform. And I do mean the very first. So soon as we can turn these cameras on, baby, I was on this camera. Okay. Um, and so I used to live stream every Friday at what was an art studio, a frame. It was a frame shop uh, owned by an artist and her sister, and then they had other merchandise and whatnot. Beautiful space, because again, why she's an artist, right? Beautiful space. She had this little living space kind of thing, couch, chairs, whatnot, and we ended up at one of the same networking groups, and so my expertise in the networking group was, hey, I can help you get on social media, da 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 da. So our trade off was, hey, if I can come in and live stream in your space, because again, I'm caregiving at home. I can't go live at home. You can't hear me because of the machines and all that kind of stuff, right? That was part of it. But also, I got to stay close to home. I can't go in the city. I can't go too far. Hey, I'll go live. I'll go to her space, which is, around the corner from me. I'll go live in the space. And next thing you know, people were popping in like, hey, I'm watching you live. They come in, they want to watch you live. I got great guests, got celebrities, stopping by in this little town. D. Lee is coming in. Um, she just came on. She was in fact, she was one of the people that came walking in the door. She's like, hey, I watched you live. I want to come over here. I'm an author. I've got an organization, got this great organization for authors and whatnot. So in this space they used to have these art shows. She would invite different artists to come in. They have art exhibit installations and whatnot, beautiful art shows. But these people weren't selling anything because they all, art, first of all, art ain't cheap at all. And yet, they have these amazing exhibits, and I noticed these people were going all over town showing this art, but I'm like, it ain't moving. Why is it not moving? Why you're not selling this stuff? Because people don't. Everybody ain't coming in and dropping 2, 3, 4 grand on this art, right? But everybody loves it, and people who love it, they go to these museums. You can go to a museum. Did you know they will give you a chair? They got these little chairs you walk around with them. I went to a museum. I took a day trip. I went to ride a train. I took a train. I went to this art museum. And I was like, what is that? What are those? And these little pop-up chairs. They give you these little pop-up chairs. And I'm like, why would I want to walk around a museum with a chair? They said, no. They said people have, their favorite rooms they like to go in the art. Like, I'm talking about I'm talking about the national art museums in cities. They give you these little pop-up chairs because people will literally go and just sit in front of a painting. They go sit in front of different artwork, whatever. Sit in different rooms. Just they love the vibes up in there so much. They just go. They don't just go in there and walk around and look. Of course, on the opening night of the installation, yeah. But people come back and they just kind of just sit there. Like they give you this chair and you literally like just sit there. And I get that because I love it, right? So every month or every whatever cycle, they would have these artists come and they put their art up on the wall and all this stuff. And then they come and they take it all down and take it back home. And I thought about it. I'm like, well, why y'all don't just take payments? Right? We weren't there yet. I don't think half of these apps that are out here now, they were brand new. People didn't want the information online, the privacy and all this kind of stuff. They didn't want to do the transaction. And not only that, we're still trying to get artists to take money, right? And I kept telling them, I'm like, but okay, so why are you opposed to a payment plan? right? Why are you? Because one, they're a bunch of snobs and they only want the product in certain hands. And I get that. Because I just talked about, hell, I don't want a bunch of randoms, going to the website. It's too much work. It's not that I don't want, hell yeah, I want to wake up and 50 million people have gone, to the SITE, right? But then again, I don't, because you know what I got to do. You know how much merchandise I gotta have there? You know how much I gotta spend? You know how many people I'm gonna have to like, no, right? And this is the same pushback that artists have. But we use the word starving. And so I found this guy. He has a wonderful way of reaching artists. And I said, hey, listen, what if we present it in another way? Nobody likes the word layaway, because why? Oh, there's all this kind of stigma. But at least have a payment plan, because guess what? And oh, nobody wanted to do it, but guess what? Here comes Afterpay. Here comes Klarna. Here comes all these different things. Now, yes, the artists, they get all their money up front. Oh, at a cost. Oh, you're gonna get it, but you're gonna get it at a cost. Whereas you could have been getting it and charging yourself that, because our minds won't absorb. Our minds just will not absorb a thing. Right now, all these damn restaurants are out here, even though the majority of their business today comes from DoorDash. They're all out here mad that they gotta pay for those things, but they can't. They can't turn it off. Can't with that thing say, can't take it off. Can't take it off. They can't turn it off. Why? Because they didn't spend any time sending people, building a habit of people going direct. Right? Agent, they can't. Nobody knows how to go direct to them. Right? Because before, these things you used to call up and order a pizza, but then all these other places didn't even deliver. All these other places, they didn't deliver. You couldn't get McDonald's delivered. And Waffle House is still fighting delivery. Waffle House is like, look, they still fighting delivery. But they doing it. I might order something in a little bit. Okay? The mind is so tough. So here, and let me give you the solution. So what I gave to the artist, I said, okay, what if you, and this is what I told Tita, and she's in here, she'll contest to it. I said, okay, that painting is $3,000. But what if you had a sweet spot prices? You hear me say, again, I say it all the time as it relates to me, because I realize, well, shit, I'm tired of dealing with stubborn people. I'm going to do it myself. So when the opportunity came for me to have my own product, I'm like, all that stuff that you used to tell them other people, now you do it. You do it and see how easy it is to embrace it. It's hard. I get it. Now that I do it, it's hard. I fight that same fight that people were giving me. I fight with myself on some of that stuff. Some of it I don't. Some of it I go like, damn, that was a damn good idea. So I told the artist, what if you found your sweet spot price? What if you found your sweet spot price? So if somebody says, how much is that painting? And let's say that painting is $3,000, but instead of saying it's $3,000, come up with a sweet spot price or a sweet spot payment. 5 payments of 4 payments. Because let me tell you, insomniacs, they know that's the first thing they be listening for when they up in the middle of the night watching those shopping channels. And that thing, they never tell you how much it is. The first thing you will hear will be a 4, a 5, a 7, a 10, right? The 10 payments. How much is that? 10 payments of. You don't even care how much it is. All you heard, you gonna split that into 10 payments, right? And now either I can walk out of here with it now, or you can come back, make those 10 payments, come back, pick it up. Don't want to do a layaway. Oh, anybody trying to be the artist with the layaway. Okay, well, come up with another name. It's a membership. It's a subscription. It's a payment plan. You gotta do it. So Keita is a fiber artist. She crochets. And I said, Keita, find the sweet spot price and make it X amount of payments. Your X factor. Write this down. X factor. What is your X factor? What is your X factor? I have got a subscription where I've got my customers pay, they get soap for the year. They pay by the month, and I send them X bars a month, but it's soap for the year. If I said to you, you want, what is it? Remember on those game shows and people used to get, a lifetime supply of turtle wax. Remember, like on The Price is Right and Let's Make a Deal and all of that. Guess da 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 da, or the contestants da 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 receive a lot. Like hearing those people get a lifetime supply of turtle wax had everybody going to the store buying turtle wax, right? And they just send them people home with a couple of cases of turtle wax, right? They didn't give you the whole fact. You got a couple cases, and that's gonna last you a lifetime, right, or a year long, right? And everybody knows about turtle wax. And it was what you use to shine your wheels, your car, and all that kind of stuff. But every time them shows went off, guests stay at this hotel, and they get a lifetime supply of this and the other. You know, I've got customers that get a lifetime supply of soap. As long as they stay in the club, they're in the club. They're in the club to get a lifetime supply. Because the average person uses their soap forever. They don't change their soap. You get a lifetime supply of soap. And they pay every 30 days or every 60 days. That's how I started it. That's my subscription box, and I'm sticking to it. And then now people start asking, well, do you do wholesale? I got a wholesale subscription, yes. Because why? I don't want no random people coming up to my wholesale and they just basically want a discount. No, that's not how we do this. You got to lock that in every 30 days or every 60 days for X amount of bars, because in the nature of entrepreneurship, you're always chasing volume. And my X factor was, well, in a week's time, let's say in a week's time, I sell 300 bars, 400 bars, 100 bars, 5 bars, 6 bars, whatever it is, right? Now I want an X factor. I want an X that. So I want to find one person that's going to buy 18 bars, 36 bars, 54 bars, 72 bars. And all of my stuff ends in a 9. You add the two numbers together, because why? 9 is my sweet spot. That's my number, right? My loaf makes 18 bars. I've got customers, they want that 18 bars every 30 days, every 60 days. Put it in their salon, they're going to put it in their barbershop, put it in their cigar shop, put it in their driving range, whatever. And I got them, I want my reseller, 36 bars. Okay, that's 2 loaves. 54 bars, that's 3 loaves. 72 bars. Notice how I can drop my numbers. That's the thing too. You got to know your numbers. And too many entrepreneurs I had that don't know their numbers. I can drop my numbers at the drop of a dime. And I know, okay, well, you get 7. Then they want to know what do you get a discount. I'm quoting you a discount. And when they go to ask us, because here's the thing, we feel that sting, like, damn, why everybody want a discount? Because discount is the nature of business out here. Anybody you send to go to the checkout, the first thing they ask, the first thing your system is going to ask them at checkout is, do they have a promo code? And when they get there and they don't have a promo code, they're going to feel some kind of way. So, you got to put it out there. And if you feel some kind of way, make it a subscription. Let me tell you, people who have memberships and have subscriptions, they don't have attitudes out here. They ain't the mad vendor. They don't have attitudes out here. They ain't the mad vendor. You don't hear about rude customer. Tell you right now, rude refund every time. Then they come back, I got a refund. Yeah, because you were rude. I match energy. Rude refund. I kick people out the club. When they get in the club and they get in the inbox, well, can I get this instead of refund? That's not what the club is. That's not what the club is. It's just not what the club is. It's hands off. You set it, you expect it, you manage it over there. I only know you in the club when it come in. But listen, here's where you're missing it. Because I'm gonna tell you, you're missing it. I use the word subscription box. It applies to a membership. It applies to payment plans, the software, the technique, the way it functions. Its functionality can be used in several different ways. You get to decide every aspect of it. You get to decide when you're going to deliver the product. You get to decide what the product is. You get to decide how much of the product. You get to decide everything about it. And that's why I say, many of you, if you're not wanting to do a subscription box, then use it out of the box. Use it in out of the box ways. The chicken guy that she said, he launched a subscription. Here's what he said. He matched Amazon. I'm sorry, he matched Zon. He said he had an annual membership where they pay an annual fee and they get as a customer, as a loyal customer, if you're in good standing. So let's say you go to place an order and you're in good standing because you know with down to the Zon you can pay it an annual fee or you can pay it break it down in monthly fees that lets you get the 2-day delivery and some other things that we think are perks, which I don't know what they're doing over there, but that's the nature of it. And you know what they doing as soon as you get out of it, as soon as your membership don't renew. And then you realize, oh wait, them was some perks. That ain't just the everyday thing. No, that's a membership. You get that when you come out that membership, and then next thing you know, you realize you ain't gonna get your stuff the next week. Okay, so what the chicken guy did was and I didn't finish listening. I heard he did an annual membership, and I'm gonna tell you. You should be walking around here with an annual membership. I don't care what you do, who you are, whatever. Even if you want me to call you on the 12th and wake you up at 11 o'clock, that should be an annual thing, right? So he did an annual membership, and they're gonna get this box of goodies, right? Because you're a member. But then they're gonna get free delivery, because they do deliver, because they can only serve within their region. Hey, Rosetta. So he did an annual membership. They get the box of goodies, stickers, all this other merch and whatnot. But then, as long as they're ordering in that window, as long as they're in good standing, they get their promo code, their free delivery, they get discounts, and all this stuff and whatnot. And the way he did it was, he gave the scenario, which I give all the time, is having to do so much for a random, trying to acquire that customer. And if you don't have a system to lock them in, you're losing money, right? If I got to do all of this stuff to remind you to come back and buy again, I'm losing money. But if you lock it in, and I don't have to send you out an email. Now I ain't got to send flyers. I ain't got to I ain't got to reach back out to you. You ain't got to reach back out to me. We just said all I got to do is make your soap every month, send it to you. There's no extra cost to that. You see what I'm saying? Customers cost. I want y'all to, next time you're at the mall and sit back at the store and you see these people, it's called footfall, going in and out these stores. And I don't know if y'all know this, but when you walk in those stores, you go window shopping, right? My daughter told me this. Entrepreneur is in when you walk in a store and you walk past, a lot of us think of it as the security thing, but it counts every person that walks in there, right? And it counts every person that walks out. And if you're walking out without merchandise, it counts against the team that's working in that time. Okay, just like when you go through the drive-through and they tell you to pull up and they're counting that time. So, and when you see somebody go around that thing, they're just trying to keep that place from being dinged, because every time you cross that threshold and you come and you didn't go to that register and you're coming back out of there. And so there's a variance that they're looking for. Well, okay, 20 people came in and only there were only two sales during that hour, and then they go, that's a percent, that's a variant. They gotta improve that. They gotta improve that. That's why they shout to you, hello, and then when you're leaving, did you find anything? Can I help you? Of course, somebody should have come up to you and urge you on through the buying process, right? So that becomes the variant. And then also too, another thing you don't hear out here is when I turn this thing on, I had numbers in mind. I was like, oh, I got to reach X amount of people, right? And let me see here. I'm trying to see, like, say for instance, in this live alone, it's already been 500. Somebody's inviting me. I'm not going to battle today. It's already been 500 came through here. 3 new followers. Okay, 4 people have dropped gifts, and there's a reward to all of that, and so forth and so on. And then I could also I didn't want to, but I could also add a TikTok. I said a shit talk. Don't you love it? What they call slip of the tongue. I could also add a TikTok shot link to this, and that would triple the number of people coming through. But I did that yesterday, and they were still trying to shop, and I'm like, no, we're not shopping. We're not shopping today. I got enough. I got enough. I gotta get out. I gotta get that. I gotta get that out, and I gotta do inventory because we don't want to oversell. Um, we don't want. What is it? That's not the word I want to use, but I had it. I had the link on yesterday when what were we doing? I was working on doing the side work, and people were asking all about product, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay, so that's the gist of it. But check it out. Hold the screen and do clear display, and you'll be able to see the whole flyer and the link, or I don't know if the link is on there, but that's the name. It's the channel under my name. It's one of the first channels I've done just under my name. So definitely check it out. And again, we're going to be talking about how I started the subscription box, how you can do it out of the box. One of the things, let me say this. There are 2 ways you can do it. If you're going to, and I think in my, if you're going to, and I think in my 15th of the month or whatever, to me, that was a little bit difficult because people sign up at different times. So I said, well, luckily, because of the product I have, I'm not creating outside product. Everything's in house. So I was able to let mine trickle in, trickle out, right? I was able to do it that way. So I don't have to send it all out at one time. I even tested that, and it just became, no, actually, instead of testing it, I asked my subscribers, because again, we're in contact. I asked them, would they love to get it at the same time? And the people with the first 2 weeks of the month, they were like, we're good. I like it. Because people have started their club on knowing that it's going to recharge every 30 or 60 days. They're like, oh, I like mine to be charged then. And what I asked them, would they like to get it all at the same time? No, I asked them basically, were they tied to their subscriber day? And it was kind of 50-50. But the interesting part was the only ones that really wanted to change it were the people that were subscribed at the end of the month, because they literally are sitting and watching all of the first 2 weeks. People have to watch everybody get their stuff and waiting for them to get theirs, right? But they have the option to go in and move their own date and whatnot. And so I ended up just saying, hey, if you want to do that, pause it and then restart it at wherever you want it. Once they do it, PG style, welcome in. So they get the thing about it is it's not as intensive, labor intensive as you think. It's not labor intensive at all. If you want to like kind of calm your nervous system, if you don't want to have to like hope. There's a book out there called "Hope Is Not a Strategy." If you don't want to like make stuff and hope everybody shows up, like even though we have our popular Friday sale, it's still that was still very random. So I've gotten some control over that by moving my randoms um, over to TikTok Shop. Um, Even though that was very popular, it's every Friday and this, that, and the other. It's like, no. When it started like midnight. That thing started going off at midnight, and you never know. You never know what you're gonna get. And another way, like one of the ways I wanted to regain control of that is when I first started it, I would select a soap, or I think up to five. We had a bunch of soaps at that time. So I would select five soaps and that were five on Friday. So I had kind of control. So no matter how many orders came in, I knew that they were confined to particular inventory. So that didn't impact my nervous system the way when we started running like the whole site. One of the reasons I started doing it the whole site is because we changed up the listing. But then I was like, can't keep doing it that way, because when the orders were coming in, they were really kind of all over the place. Even though, there's nothing on that that's not in the inventory, it just was a nightmare trying to pull all from all over the place. Whereas it's just better when it's confined to a couple of soaps. We know what that is, and it's like boom, get those orders out, right? Because you have to think about it all the way through, all the way through. So another thing with that is the variables and how much people order. You can control. It's like, oh, it was like no limit, and I'm like, well, what if we combined it to just 4 bars? That helped with knowing what shipping material we needed to have. And then I was like, well, I really don't want to limit it, because if I limit it and then we don't get the volume, because again, you're worried about the volume. You're chasing volume, as they say. And I'm like, okay, if we limit it, then we got to have X amount of people to reach a goal. I'm okay if one person come in and buy it all. It's a what is it? Awful. No, it's a first come first lather, right? I'm okay if one person go and empty that out. I'm okay, because what if I limit the people to 4 bars, and now I got, let's say I got X amount of bars, I gotta have X amount of people. If I don't reach those people, let's say social media is down, right? Let's say something happens in the world or whatnot, and I don't reach those X amount of people, then I'm not gonna do it. But hey, that one person's like, I'm waiting on Friday, I'm gonna go get it all. Come on. But it's come on, please. Come on, please. You know what I'm saying? So you have to think about all that from beginning. You got to think about it from beginning to end. You have to think about it from beginning to end. But also think about this: what it took to market, how many days it took me to market that, and this goes back to how much does that customer cost. You don't know how much that customer is going to spend, but you got to spend X amount to get that customer to think about spending, and then usher them on through the process. And so all along the way, you're spending on that customer. You're spending to get that customer to see you. You're spending to get that customer onto the platform. You're spending to get that customer items to them. Even though everything about this pays for itself. Even though, and here's the one thing you don't miss this. Even though everything about this in this day and age, because it ain't always like this. In this day and age, because it ain't always like this. The one-offs when I do have to make the reinvestment. There are the one-offs. Thank you so much for sharing. There are the one-off, when I'm like, it's season change right now, right? Or let's say that, hey, sales were down, I gotta make the investment because the sales were down. I gotta make the investment to make, because you gotta spend money to make money. I gotta buy the product. I gotta reach in, I gotta get the supply. Now we're not gonna do that too often. And if we find that we're having to do that, then we gotta look at what we're doing. One of the things again, by trying out one of the newer platforms, oh wait, I can go over there at a different price point, at a higher price point. I don't have to have the sales nor the discount. Because I'm in front of all new people. I can find a different sweet spot, right? And so forth. I can find a different sweet spot. I can try. And not only that, you learn something new. Because again, I got the same people. Once you get into that peer group and there's nothing new coming in and nothing new going out, that's no new information. And that's why, that's why on TikTok you got the For You page. You got those that you follow. You got a follow tab, you got a friends tab, and you got a For You tab, right? And they tell you all the time, go check out, because I spend a lot of time on my friends tab, because I'm like, we mutuals, right? We got to mutually benefit each other. I love how I curated my following tab. That's content that I enjoy, content I want to see. I don't give a damn if they follow me back or not. This is what I love to see. I love to watch. But every now and again, or every day, you open up your app, you back over there For You page. Guess what you discover? You discover new things, new people, new sounds, new trends, right? You got to expose yourself to the different things. Okay. And then also, like, even like running a subscription box, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, this is trending. Oh, look, I can try that with my subscribers, right? And that's another thing that I love. Having that captive audience, right? So if an ingredient is popular, let's say it's matcha. It's matcha. Now I like moringa because we just thinking color, right? Green. It's hell. I got to do a moringa soap. I'm getting ready to do a moringa. I might do a matcha. I don't know. One of them damn soaps I might do. I don't know if the matcha will come out as green as the moringa, right? It's about to be St. Patrick's Day. It's March, about to be spring. I got to do a green soap. Do a green soap every year. And it keeps coming up in my memory here, right? But the thing about it is, and I'm looking back at my memory because this keeps coming back when I made all this damn green ass soap. Beautiful soap, mind you. Oh my God, it was absolutely beautiful. I did a damn good job. But when I did that soap, I did it as, first day of spring, St. Patrick's Day, this, that, and the other. I can't tell you how long I had that damn green ass soap. Now, I didn't have it too long because I ended up probably taking it to a market or whatever. But baby, I could do that knowing I got a subscription box. I'm gonna put it in my subscription box. I can now, knowing that I have a captive audience in my members, in my paid subscribers. Let me start saying it this way, because I don't think y'all get it. Because I know YouTube uses the word subscribers, and there's a number of things I heard you. I'm talking about my paid subscribers. Okay, I'm not even talking about my TikTok paid subscribers. I'm talking about the paid subscribers to the subscription box. So there's no guessing. Okay, they have opted in to the experiment. They have opted in to the exploration. If I say, we're going to try this, we're going to try that, they're going to open that box and they go like, okay, what is it? Because that's what subscription boxes are. It's an exploration. And like, let me smell this. It's a new fragrance. It's a combination of fragrances. It's an ingredient. They've opted into that. And I don't have to get, it's not a game. It's just an absolute pure joy. And the difference in that is, let's say I'm going to try this product. And you know what? I think I might do I got some stuff down there. I could do it, and let's say, I'm gonna put it out there to the randoms, right? And they're gonna be like, I don't know what that is. You know, do y'all see that guy? He be doing like this. He be at the bottom of his thing. I think I'll do that. Let me just put my. Ah! Oh, y'all, don't get me started. Okay, let me see if I can bring this up again. All right, so let me do this. This is the channel. I hadn't showed it, but that is the channel. Um, and again, it's just in my name. And I've already dropped 3 videos. I'm doing a part 1, part 2. I'm doing it in a series. Part 1, part 2, part 3 is on there. And I'm going to do some more. I'm just going to drop apparently I have to drop the stories until I get 50 subscribers, I think. And then I can go live. So I'll be going live over there. And then I'll use that live like I do everything else. I'll break it up. I don't like the creation tools that TikTok has. So not TikTok, I don't like the creation tools that YT has. So I actually created these videos on TikTok, but I loaded them as private videos on TikTok and downloaded them and put them over there because I like the creation tools over here more than over there. And I purposely did not allow them over here because I don't think TikTok would even show them. And as you can see, this is just even rolling that out. I immediately got views because I shared it to a number of groups that I'm in, and so forth, just to get the initial stuff rolling. So I'm excited about it. Here is my little chat image. I said, hey, make a caricature of me doing my subscription box. Isn't that cool? And I know people are like, oh my God, y'all people be throwing so much shade out here. And let me tell you, don't be afraid of shade because people was going to throw shade based on something they don't understand. It's like, just ask for the prompt. Just ask for the prompt. And the thing about it, the funny part about it is they don't realize they'll throw the shade, but then until they figure out how to do it. Okay. But I just told her, I said, hey, make a caricature of me working on the shower club. And then if you notice, this is really this video is from my videos I did yesterday. But look how in just seconds I was able to go from idea to implementation and have assets that I can share. Not to mention, of course, ChatGPT gave me a whole full-on plan of rolling this out. See how it said part 1, it didn't even do part 2. It said part 1, part 3, part 4. Pricing about the idea, pricing the box, and then getting subscribers, and the rest of it really is going to be about getting subscribers. And then I'm going to continue to answer questions. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do it over there is because when I am live, um, there is a kind of a multitude of people in that are asking about this when I'm over here when I'm customer facing. And when I'm customer facing, I don't like right now. I don't consider this to be customer facing. I didn't link a product. I'm not talking specifically about the product. I'm not even selling anything here except for, hey, go over there and subscribe. And so I don't want to have this conversation while customer facing. I'm old school, and I know we have seen it a time and time again over here where people switch it up. They go from doing a thing to, because so many people do ask, well, how did you do this? And how did you do that? And so I want to keep it separate. This particular channel, was my main page, but again, because I'm now trying TikTok Shop, I created a separate page for the TikTok Shop. That page, believe it or not, is also driving new subscribers because I'm only offering on my TikTok Shop a very limited amount of soaps, particularly types of soap. I'm only offering 2 fragrant free and 2 fragrant soaps on there. And so people are wondering, well, what those design soaps behind you? Well, how do we get those design soaps? I am only driving that level of intensity, loyalty, and labor into the club. Hey, Jim, welcome in. So, that helps with that. That sense of FOMO is like, wait, I can't get no. It's those are not Those are not available for individual sale, unless you are getting. If you don't want to get in the club, yeah, you need to go ahead and get a loaf. Go ahead and get a loaf, boo boo. I think about that. Anybody coming to see you, Otis, which is let me tell you, when I first started out, if you have not had somebody come and audit what you are doing, and I mean really give you an open, honest opinion, and it's really just that, an open, honest opinion. I mean, like some of these people, some of these coaches, mentors, or what I hate, all these people got these programs and whatnot. If you ain't asked me to do it, if you ever had somebody look at your process and be open and honest with you about it, it's what you're doing. And I'm gonna tell you, I did at several levels, and it came down to anybody coming to see you, Otis. Where I thought, oh, I'm this personality because that's where I came from, being a personality, being an influencer, and it's like, no, these people want some soap because they got stuff going on, right? Hey, Yolanda, I'm Yolanda as well. These people they searching for the soap. They ain't searching for you, right? Even as an influencer, I'm like, but I'm an influencer. Hello. It's like, we're gonna let this be what it be. We're gonna let this be what it is, or what? We're gonna be in the way. We're gonna get out the way. So if you've not had an audit, get somebody to do that for you. Look at what you are doing. Do you have what people would subscribe to? And I'm gonna tell you, I had a luncheon. How did I know? How did I learn about? Where did it come from that I would say, okay, I'm going to do a script box? I had always wanted a gift site. I always wanted a site where people would go and buy gifts. Always, since the very first start of the internet, that was like, oh, I'm gonna do a site. People gonna buy gifts and this, that, and the other. I was talking about 5 years ago, and what was supposed to have been a 5-year cycle. I had, and a young lady, I don't know if she popped in or not, came in, was a guest speaker. We called her the Zon Whisperer, down to Zon, right? She was trying to show authors how to create businesses around their books, how to come up with other skills besides trying to sell a new person every time on buying that book, right? And so she was taking them through, here's the business. Yeah, you can get one person to buy your book, or you can get one person to buy 20 books. Here's how to get one person to buy 20 books. They're part of an organization. Here's how to go on a speaking circuit and all those different things. Here's how to, now launch your t-shirts. Here's how to launch all these other ancillary products and whatnot. So I had her come and speak at a lunch. We couldn't have breakfast because this restaurant had asked me to create an event for them, to create a series of events for them, but at lunchtime, because they weren't open for breakfast. They should have did breakfast. That's why it didn't work. They wanted to do lunch. You know me, I ain't trying to do lunch, right? I want to do breakfast. They should have done breakfast. And come to think, I might cycle back around. Remember, I might circle back around because cycles are changing. To do breakfast, because people are just serious at breakfast, y'all. They're serious with it. So she came, and a lot of the entrepreneurs were asking questions, whatnot. She says, listen, she says, y'all got to get with the reoccurring. Again, the random, and I'm not using the word random in a bad way, but that one time sale. There's so many people out here just trying to get that one time sale. They don't have a funnel, right? They don't have ways for you to cycle back around or whatever. And most people are not selling product that you need to buy every week or once a month or whatever. They're not selling stuff that you got to come back for, right? They're just not. They're not selling fast consumer moving goods, okay? They're not selling something that you can reorder or this, that, and the other, all right? And this is what she was saying. She said, and you need to think about a subscription box. Now, I'm sitting there interviewing her, and this went right over my head. And she turned to me and she says, you too. I said, oh no, talk to the people. She said, no, I'm talking to you too. You need a reoccurring product. You need a box. She said, there are boxes out here. She said, there's a horse box. I'll never forget. She said, there's a sock box. Hey, Helen. She said, there's boxes for everything. And people out here subscribing to it, and they're getting these boxes. And this was about maybe y'all 6, 7. This is had no 6 years since pandemic. So I'm gonna go back, shit, 9 years, almost 10 years. Um, for, it had to be almost 10 years when she said this. We're now 10 years out of that. I am now 5, 6. I'm now. She said this 10 years ago. I'm 6 years into it. It took me 4 years of her saying it to realize, oh wait, she was talking to me. Because the minute I realized I finally can have a physical product, right? Because mind you, I spent 20 years as a blogger having digital stuff. And I said, man, all these followers I got, I need a tangible physical product. And I started with the books, and then I did the events and stuff. I need something like when I said I did a series of breakfasts, those people came back to breakfast again and again because I had different mentors. So I'm bringing different mentors to the table, right? So you need to come back next month, okay? But she said 10 years ago, everybody need a box. If you are selling something, you need to put it in a box. And let me tell you, she ain't the only one. Sony and Samsung. I'll never forget when we were going digital, when we were going streaming. Sony and Samsung was a little bit upset because they were trying to sell you a TV and a device. And they were like, well, shoot, wait a minute. What do you mean people are going to be on all these other devices, right? And of course, Samsung, I don't know if anybody bought a Sony phone, but you bought a Samsung phone, right? Sony and Samsung was like, hold on, what do you mean? Because we're making these TVs bigger and bigger and bigger. What do you mean people are not going to be watching these televisions? They're going to be on this device. Nobody knew at that time it was going to be a phone. And they were trying to figure out, and they sent out this mass thing for all these minds. It's like, come and help us. Because, here come Netflix, want to send out CDs. Netflix want to stop sending CDs. They done shut down. They done ran Blockbuster out of business with these damn CDs coming to your house where you ain't got to come up in there and pay all these late fees. Just send that CD in late and pay them late fees. And then Netflix, and keep in mind, Netflix went from sending you CDs to your mailbox to say, hey, we're going to stream this to you. Go get your gaming system and download this app, and instead of playing all them games, watch Netflix. When you first watched Netflix, it wasn't an app on your television, on your little whatever you plug in your television. You had to tell your kid, me, I had a son that had a gaming system. Hey, can you download mommy's Netflix on that gaming system? He's like, Mom, you're going to go and get your own gaming system, right? Mom, I need my gaming system, right? So then they came with the little, I don't even know how we ended up getting it on it because it wasn't on the television. It was on the Xboxes and all those different things, Then came the Fire Stick or whatever. And I don't know what was before the Fire Stick. But there was all these kind of boxes and whatnot, to help you cut the cord with the cable thing or whatever. So evolution. And now people they want another, they tired of all these services. They're like, well, shoot, give me a box again. But Samsung and Sony, realizing that this shift was getting ready to happen, they asked all these different minds, like, well, help us come up with something that people can subscribe to. What can we put in a bag or a box? There are people out here still trying to figure out, well, what can go in a bag or a box? Because as long as we stay there's a demand. There's a demand. There are jobs. Okay. Now remember, we're watching all these shipping systems, shut down. Because what's shipping? If we're all going digital, if we're all going service. So again, they're trying to get you attracted to and attached to these things again. And that's why you need to be doing a subscription box, a membership. Right? I remember I subscribed to, and where are they? The vegetable box. They used to send you had to go and meet all these little meetup spots from these little farms, and they got together and they came up with these boxes and whatnot. People understand subscribing. Oh, there we go. I want to double back around to that. Why am I 6 years into this? Because Smack Dab, prior to 2019, I would not have been able. In fact, I don't know. I didn't do this then. 2019, it would have been a no. 2020, because nobody could go anywhere. Everybody needed to get it. Everybody understood getting it shipped. Everybody let go of their privacy. Everybody let go of that immediate gratification. Oh, I'm going to go to the store and get it right now. No, I'm going to wait on it. Right? All that pushback that we was getting 2019 and before went away. Because now, you can barely leave the house, right? Because the whole, COVID stuff or whatever. Everybody understood the word subscriber. Everybody understood the word paid subscriber. Everybody understood membership, right? Everybody understood the perks of this, that, and the other. I no longer have to go into a whole diatribe of what it is to be a subscriber. The fact that I said, you can't buy this. I get people all the time when I'm holding up that plain bar soap and that design bar soap, and I say, you can't buy this. This is for the club. They go, well, how do I find the club? And when I sit them on that thing to find the club, and while I'm sitting there and I see them subscribe, it's the best feeling ever. And it's a mutual best feeling ever. It's mutual. All right, well, we on time because I'm gonna get ready to get out of here. And those y'all that are waking up late because time changed. We right at 2 minutes to 2 hours. I'm gonna get up out of here, y'all. But thank you guys. If you did a clear to display and a screenshot, if you go over there and I see new subscribers, I'm gonna thank you for it because what did this cost me to acquire? It cost me 2 hours. It cost me 2 hours and whatever the hell I didn't do over these 2 hours. That's what it cost me to get new subscribers. That's what it cost. That's what a customer costs. Okay, everything costs. All right, everything can be free, but somebody got to fully reimburse every expense. Write that down. That's one of my favorite sayings, and whatnot. But thank you guys for hanging out with me. I literally came in on that time. Wow, that's great. I hope everybody have a great day. I am gonna. I don't know when, but we'll find some continuity and when we can have these conversations. If you have questions after the fact, I'm going to tell you there are two things that I use to run my subscription, and that is Shopify and Recharge. Those are two apps. Shopify is the platform. Recharge is an app that runs on Shopify. If you're thinking about doing the in the box or out of the box subscription, I want you to think about that. In the box, meaning you're going to put some items in a box and send that to your customer again and again, or out of the box, meaning that you want to use the functionality. Okay, because I want you to have a growth mindset on this. The functionality. Now, I also have a school that I started, but I was like, what am I going to do there? I'm probably going to connect the YouTube to that. Because that's also subscriber based, but I hadn't decided how I was going to do that. All right. But if you want to do in the box, meaning you're going to curate a box that's going to go to your customers recurringly, or out of the box is some of the functionalities of a subscription box that I think will apply to more people. Because again, understood, everybody doesn't want to manage a subscription box. But if you have a customer in any shape or form, then you might want to look at the functionality of a subscription box and doing some out of the box type things. And y'all know I will always have a conversation where you say, I never thought about it like that. You might have an out of the box subscription. There's in the box subscription, and then there's out of the box subscription that uses the functionality and technology of managing a subscription box so that you keep your customer. Okay. And that may be having the payment plan, doing the layaway. Maybe it's an annual membership. Maybe it's a quarterly, a seasonally. Hell, there are even people that paying for stuff out here on the daily, $1 a day. I had a girlfriend out here on this platform. She's on the West Coast. She did a 7-day thing where she, if you logged in, boom, you got charged for 7 days. She did it. And you know what she did for 7 days? Just walked. She did a motivational walk. She was like, sign up, come and walk. We're going to do it for 7 days. And it was something about what it takes to build a habit. And she did one. And then, of course, what is after people start saying it? What's the question? What's the question people ask? When are you gonna do it again? Every time somebody say, "When are you gonna do it again?" Boom, go sign up for the next one. Because these people gonna take 7 days. They're gonna graduate. Boom, here come the next 7. Oh man, if you do it again, I'm gonna do it. Oh, I'm doing it again. Go and sign up. 7 days. And in those 7 days, how did they know it was time to go and get their walk on? $2.99. That $2.99 hit. Oh shit, I'm supposed to be walking. She charged them $2.99. Because why? It was the sweet spot. She charged them less than a cup of coffee. Because what do? You get up, you're going to get out there in that drive-thru, you're going to buy that coffee. So she psychologically hit them for the price of a cup of coffee for 7 damn days. And yeah, she had an option, pay for it all at once. Right? Because it's gonna hit you for $2.99 a day for 7 days, or pay $2 up front, $14. Sign up, right? And guess what? Oh, now because you know the funnel on that thing is, hey, you want to do it? You want to do it for 3 months? You want whatever it's gonna take. What does it take for you to build a habit of walking? What is your X factor? What does it take? She let them decide, because people want the choice. They want the control. They want to be able to control it. When I started my subscription box, I said you can 30 days or 60 days. You control it. And if the payment don't go through, I ain't on there like, hey, your subscription go. I'm not doing that. That's not how this works. And they'll come back, they'll say, I haven't got my box. Oh, go check your email. You probably got a notification. Maybe your card expired. Maybe you changed your card. Maybe you changed your account. Whatever. You manage that thing. And then I know that they've done it because the regular orders hit at 12:06 a.m. in the morning. And so if I get one at 10 o'clock, at 11 o'clock, I know that they've had to go in there and fix their account. And I don't know it before then because I ain't micromanaging this thing. Because again, I set this up because I set it that way because I want my I need to calm down my nervous system. We ain't got no collections department over here. You know, you run out, you run out. You out, you out. You in, you in. You know, I'm just saying. So, but again, how did I start my subscription box? I decided to do it in the box. I do also have some options out of the box. I run subscriptions for, Tia. I run subscriptions, my regular subscriptions, and I have my wholesale subscribers. Paid, hold on. I gotta use the word paid because y'all be missing that part, okay? I have my monthly paid subscribers. I have my bi-monthly paid subscribers. I have my wholesale subscribers. I run 3 subscriptions over here. And I just got one of my wholesale subscribers just dropped a box of supplies because her subscription doesn't include a couple things. So she just dropped her box off on the porch. And I went out there and got it, and I went through the box, and I got to get on a call with her. Okay, what do you want? She wants custom soaps, right? And she's buying enough bars, as many bars I might sell a week. Okay, so that's in the box. My out of the box is people said, "Hey, do you have wholesale?" And let me tell you, these people ask you about wholesale, they will waste all of your time. It's like, yes, I have wholesale. It is a subscription. I'm going to send you a link. Hit that link and we can talk. You're not going to ask me 50 questions and then you take my answers over to your friend and say, we're going to do it like this. Guy called me out of, hell, I don't know. I think it was in Tennessee or something. Hey, I want to know if I can, I want to carry the butters. Okay. I got a wholesale subscription. I'm going to send you the link. Get that, and then we can talk about what you need. You're not going to pick my brain. That's a whole nother subscription. We're not doing the randoms. It costs too much. It don't pay off. Okay? This is for paid subscribers. And when you say that, you only get the people that are serious. When you say that, you only get the people that are serious. I was consulting in a group. It's prom season, talking with some photographers and whatnot. It's getting ready to be summer camp. You getting ready to do something for these kids for the summer? Every kid coming to your thing should be paid in full. Why? You should have been getting that money every month. Registration, application, like, why are you waiting to school out? You could have been paid in full already. Everybody that came last year need to be coming on back because they've been paying every month. Camp should be free. Why? Because they've been paying every month. They've been paying every month. If they subscribe, let's say they subscribe to a certain box of stuff. You create a box. They come to camp for free. I know that hurt your brain. It hurt your brain. Because they ain't got no problem paying $60 a month because it's paying for the camp. And you stayed engaged with them all year long. Oh, what about the kids that were too young for the camp? And they're just right. X Factor. They would have paid. Oh, your kid's going to be 5 next year? Oh, they could come to camp. Start paying $60 a month. Now all they got to do, instead of getting that hardship or having to take their taxes and pay, because that's what parents are doing right now. People think people out there splurging with their taxes. No, they paying for summer camp. They paying for their little league. That's what responsible parents are doing. That's what I did. Let me put that camp money aside. Let me put them little league fees. Let me put this. Let me pay for these. They got to go on these summer trips, right? I had one kid, my kids used to get so mad, birthday kid, that was always at tax time, You gotta think about these things. Angela, good morning. You gotta think about these things, y'all. And I'm gonna tell y'all, here, and I'm gonna let you go. When I started my subscription, I thought I would have fewer subscribers during the first week of the month. I was like, ain't nobody gonna want to subscribe. I'm gonna be able to chill the first week of the month. Honey, when I tell you I got so many subscribers at the first of the month, because there are people that they get paid once a month. So they take care of all that stuff at the beginning of the month. All that stuff. All you gotta decide right now is, can I tell you, you gotta have this. This is where we are. And guess what? This is something, the cycle around subscriptions ain't ever changed. This is where we have been since the beginning of time. Hell, I was watching goddamn Cleopatra, and I'm sitting there going, that damn Elizabeth Taylor and one of her umpteen husbands, they had a whole lot of nerve playing Cleopatra and Caesar. A whole lot of nerve. But she was on. She was a subscribe. That network, that movie. She had a deal. She had to do as many pictures as they told her that she had to do. Even back then, since the beginning of time, they've been getting this money, y'all. And I don't even like talk about it in terms of getting money, but and if you don't want to, if getting the money is a thing for you, because I know particularly a lot of women don't like to talk about it. They don't want to be too salesy. Think of it convenience. The average customer is looking for this particular level of convenience. If money makes you anxious, makes you nervous, impacts your nervous system, customers at a tune of 80+% are looking for this type of level of convenience with the products that they want to consume. They want this level of convenience and certainly this level of control. That is why, Stephanie, hey, that is why subscriptions work and last. I still have my day ones. And I've even recently had issues with the supply chain and a disruption. And they said, I know it'll get caught up. Leave it. I even gave them the option. It's like, no, we're doing it. What Cuzzo said, we're doing it. 1 million. All right, we're doing it. All right, y'all. Everybody have yourselves a great day. Thanks for indulging me. Again, if you want more, I'm going to talk about it on here to tell you I got it over there and so forth. And, and I'm going to grab some snippets of this. Because damn if this wasn't a whole ass podcast. Do I need to go? Oh shit! Do I need to go drop? Let me go see what the podcast platform looking like. I might have to. I'm trying to think. Shoot, I don't even remember how to do that. Hold up. I'm gonna download this and upload it over there. Bye. Boo. What Tim doesn't say? Booyah! All right, y'all. Bye. I guess I should end with right. There we go. Thank you. I guess I should end with you have been listening to an episode of How I Started My Subscription Box with Yolanda P. Lattimore. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day.